He's just stressed, Anna. Stop making everything about you. My mother's dismissive voice echoed through the kitchen as I pressed an ice pack against my throbbing head. My brother Marcus stood behind her, his earlier rage replaced by his usual innocent expression. I'm Anna Mitchell, 24, and this wasn't the first time my family dismissed Marcus's violent outbursts. Since childhood, he'd been the golden child who could do no wrong, even when his stress relief left marks on my body. Mom, he threw a plate at my head, I said quietly, trying to stop the room from spinning. I blacked out. You probably just slipped, Marcus interjected, his voice dripping with fake concern. You've always been clumsy, sis. Dad didn't even look up from his newspaper. Your brother has a big promotion coming up. He's under a lot of pressure. Stop trying to make him feel guilty. The incident had started over something trivial. I'd asked Marcus to move his car, which was blocking my driveway. His response was explosive. One minute I was standing in the kitchen during our weekly family dinner. The next I was on the floor, ceramic shards scattered around me. I'm going to the hospital, I announced, standing up shakily. This isn't normal. Mom's face hardened. Don't you dare. What will people think? The Mitchells don't air their dirty laundry in public. Dirty laundry? I laughed bitterly. Is that what you call potential brain damage? Marcus stepped forward, his 6'2" frame towering over me. You're overreacting. Again. Like always. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door, ignoring their protests. The world was still fuzzy around the edges, and I knew driving wasn't safe. I called a rideshare instead. At the ER, Dr. Sarah Martinez took one look at my swollen temple and ordered immediate tests. As she examined me, her questions became more pointed, more specific. Any previous head injuries? She asked, shining a light in my eyes. A few, I admitted. Accidents, mostly. Accidents? She paused, looking at me intently. Your medical records show 6 ER visits in the past 2 years, all with similar accidental injuries. I stayed silent, but my hands trembled in my lap. Anna, Dr. Martinez said gently, these patterns aren't typical of accidents. The breaks, the concussions, they show signs of repeated trauma. Tears welled up in my eyes. For years, I'd hidden Marcus's outbursts. The time he pushed me down the stairs because I used his bathroom. The accidental shoulder dislocation during a playful wrestling match. Each incident carefully explained away by my parents. He's my brother, I whispered. They say he's just stressed. Dr. Martinez's expression hardened. Stress doesn't cause someone to systematically abuse their sister. This stops now. She stepped out briefly, and when she returned, a police officer accompanied her. Anna, this is Officer Torres. She'd like to talk to you about what's been happening. My phone buzzed continuously, messages from Mom, Dad, and Marcus. Where are you? Stop being dramatic. Come home now. But sitting there, watching Officer Torres document my injuries while Dr. Martinez ordered additional scans, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years: safety. Your CT scan shows a mild concussion, Dr. Martinez explained. But I'm more concerned about the pattern we're seeing. This isn't your first concussion, is it? I shook my head, wincing at the movement. We're admitting you overnight for observation, she continued. And Anna, your family isn't allowed to visit. We've already notified security. For the first time that evening, I could breathe freely. In that sterile hospital room, surrounded by beeping machines instead of family, I realized this was my chance to finally break free from the cycle of violence that my parents had normalized for so long. The hospital room felt like a sanctuary compared to the chaos that erupted outside. My phone kept buzzing with messages from my family, each one more manipulative than the last. How could you embarrass us like this? Mom's text read. Marcus is devastated. His promotion might be in jeopardy if people find out. Dad's message was equally dismissive. You're tearing this family apart with your lies. Come home now, and we'll forget this happened. But Marcus's messages were what chilled me to the bone. You've really done it this time, sis. Hope you're happy with yourself. I turned off my phone and sank back into the hospital bed, my head still throbbing. Through the window, I could see security turning away my parents at the entrance. Mom was gesturing wildly, probably spinning some story about her confused daughter. Officer Torres returned the next morning with a folder thick with documentation. We've pulled your complete medical history, she said, sitting beside my bed. Anna, there's something you need to see. She opened the folder, revealing years of hospital visits, x-rays, and incident reports. Seeing it laid out chronologically made my stomach turn. Broken wrist at 14, fell off my bike. Concussion at 16, sports accident. 3 broken ribs at 19, clumsy moment on the stairs. This isn't normal, Officer Torres said gently. Your brother's stress relief has been escalating. Next time could be fatal. Dr. Martinez joined us, adding her own observations. Your latest scans show evidence of multiple healed fractures. Some never properly set because they weren't treated. Anna, why didn't you tell anyone? I stared at my hands, twisting the hospital bracelet. They always said I was making things worse by complaining. That Marcus had anger issues because of his high-pressure job. That good sisters protect their brothers. That's not protection, Officer Torres interjected. That's abuse. A social worker named Lisa joined our discussion, bringing more revelations. She interviewed hospital staff from my previous visits, uncovering a pattern of my parents intercepting medical care, minimizing injuries, and rushing me home before proper examinations could be completed. Your mother has been documented intimidating medical staff, Lisa explained. She's convinced several doctors to modify their reports, claiming family reputation concerns. The weight of this revelation crushed me. All those times I thought I was alone, there had been people noticing, trying to help, only to be stonewalled by my parents' influence. We're building a case, Officer Torres explained. But we need your statement. Your brother's violence and your parents' cover-ups, it needs to stop. I thought about Marcus, about how our parents' constant defense of his actions had only enabled him to become more violent. How their protection hadn't just hurt me, it had prevented him from ever facing consequences or getting the help he needed. If I do this, I asked, my voice shaking, what happens next? We file charges, Officer Torres replied. Your brother faces consequences for his actions and your parents for their role in enabling and covering up abuse. You'll get a restraining order and we'll help you relocate somewhere safe. It seemed impossible. The idea of a life without walking on eggshells, without bracing for Marcus's next explosion, without my parents' constant gaslighting. Dr. Martinez placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. Anna, you have a choice here. But remember, next time you might not make it to the hospital. I took a deep breath and nodded. Okay, I'll do it. I'll tell you everything. For the next 2 hours, I spoke into a recorder, documenting years of abuse. Every incident, every cover-up, every manipulation. As I talked, I felt something shifting inside me. The fear was still there, but now it was mixed with something else. Determination. Outside my room, I could hear my mother's voice again, demanding to see me. But this time, instead of feeling guilty, I felt relieved when security turned her away. For the first time, I was choosing myself over my family's toxic definition of loyalty. You're doing the right thing, Lisa assured me as I signed the formal complaint. This isn't about punishing your family, it's about saving yourself. 6 months after that hospital stay, my life had transformed completely. The restraining order against Marcus and my parents gave me the space I needed to heal, both physically and emotionally. I'd moved to a new apartment in a secure building, changed my phone number, and started trauma therapy. The legal proceedings moved swiftly, partly due to the overwhelming evidence Dr. Martinez and Officer Torres had gathered. Marcus's employer suspended him pending investigation, and his stress-induced outbursts finally had consequences. My parents' reputation, which they fought so hard to protect, crumbled when the truth came out. Their attempts to intimidate medical staff led to their own legal troubles. The perfect family facade they'd maintained for years shattered, exposing the darkness they'd hidden behind closed doors. During the court hearings, I learned I wasn't Marcus's only victim. 3 of his ex-girlfriends came forward with similar stories of violence disguised as stress relief. My parents had paid them off, just like they tried to silence me. Your testimony gave us courage, one of them told me after court. We watched your family silence you for years. Seeing you stand up made us realize we could too. My mother tried reaching out through relatives. Her messages still focus on family image rather than my well-being. Everyone's talking about us at church, she complained through my aunt. How could you humiliate us like this? I didn't respond. The old Anna might have felt guilty, might have backed down to keep the peace. But therapy had helped me understand that their reputation wasn't more important than my life. Dr. Martinez became more than just my doctor. She was the first person who'd looked at my injuries and seen the truth instead of accepting my family's excuses. She testified at the hearings, her medical expertise helping to establish the pattern of abuse. "You're not just protecting yourself," she told me after her testimony. "You're breaking a cycle that could have continued for generations." The most surprising support came from my father's sister, Aunt Kate, who I hadn't seen in years. She reached out after seeing the court reports. "They did the same thing to me," she revealed over coffee. "When your father was younger, he had these episodes. Your grandparents covered it up, just like your parents did with Marcus. That's why I distanced myself from the family. I should have done more to protect you." 1 year after that fateful hospital visit, I stood in my new apartment, surrounded by friends I'd made in therapy group. We were celebrating not just my physical recovery, but my emotional one too. Officer Torres, who'd become a good friend, raised her glass to Anna, who taught us all that family loyalty shouldn't require silence in the face of abuse. Dr. Martinez was there too, smiling proudly. "Your case has changed hospital protocols," she shared. "We're implementing new screening procedures for repeated, accidental injuries. You're helping protect others who might be trapped in similar situations." The final piece of closure came in an unexpected way. Marcus's ex-fiancée contacted me, seeking advice. "He's starting to show the same patterns," she admitted. "Your parents are telling me it's just wedding stress, that I need to be more understanding. But I saw your story and get out now," I told her firmly. "You don't owe him your silence or your safety." She did, joining the growing number of people who'd stopped enabling my family's cycle of violence and cover-ups. Today, my life is peaceful. The headaches from years of concussions have mostly faded. I still go to therapy, still jump sometimes at loud noises, but I'm healing. My new home has no broken plates, no explaining away bruises, no walking on eggshells. Sometimes I catch myself feeling sad about losing my family, but then I remember, I didn't lose them. I chose to save myself from them. And in doing so, I found a different kind of family, one built on support, truth, and genuine care for my well-being. Dr. Martinez's words still echo in my mind. Strength isn't about enduring abuse. It's about having the courage to say no more. Finally, after all these years, I understand what real family loyalty should look like. And it never requires sacrificing your safety for someone else's comfort.